Before I begin this video, I would just like to say a disclaimer that these are just my views. This is just my observation from the time that I've lived here. This does not represent or talk about all of Estonians because I haven't met all of Estonians. I don't know all of Estonians. This is a gross generalization and I hope you take it in that way, in a fun and entertaining way. This is not meant for criticism or looking down on somebody. This is just celebrating the different cultures that we have in different countries. That said, I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Manan. In this video we are going to talk about the 7 different cultural shocks that I experienced when I landed in Estonia 8 years ago. Now if you don't know about me, my name is Manan. I have been living in this country for the past 8 years, and on this channel I am creating content that helps people move to Estonia and then also helps them live here comfortably and easily. Now, if you are thinking of moving to Estonia, then I have created a 60+ point checklist. You can find it in the link down in the description below. It's completely free and it will help you answer almost all of the questions that you need to know before you move to Estonia. Now, that said, let's move on to the number 1 cultural shock that I experienced as soon as I landed in Estonia, and that was seeing women drive public transport. Now, when I landed in Estonia, I came to the airport and then I went by a bus to the city. I saw that women, like majority of the drivers for the public buses and the trolley buses and even the trams, were women, which was surprising, which was amazing, which was really great to see, because from the country where I come from in Pakistan, where gender roles are still very enforced, you don't see a lot of women doing that. In fact, I had never actually seen a woman drive a public bus or a tram or any other kind of transport. In fact, it is still even rare for women to drive motorcycles or even bikes, which is kind of a huge surprise if someone does that. In addition, public transport in Pakistan, or which I should say, like the traffic in Pakistan is quite chaotic. It's very difficult. It's not the easiest place to navigate as well. But coming here in Estonia and seeing these women navigate the public transport and, you know, these huge buses and making them work, that was really amazing to see. And I have seen women in the public sector in everywhere, like in all the service sector in Estonia, you see women doing things that I never thought were possible back home in Pakistan. So great, that's really great to see, and I hope our country gets to that place as well. So that was really great to see. Number 2, naked Estonians in the saunas. So let me explain a little bit. So when I first came to Estonia, I came on a scholarship. We had a really good study program, and for the orientation of the study program, we all went to this place in the middle of Estonia, which was nearby the sea, which had like a sauna, a pool, and accommodation. So we all went there and did a couple of workshops. All of us are like a mixture of Estonian students and then also international students, and we have our Estonian professor and all the Estonian teachers as well. So picture this, you are now free from the workshop and now it's the evening and everybody is just going to the sauna. And then I was getting ready to go into the sauna when I see the site that my Estonian professor, somebody I gave my interview to, somebody who is as close as family to me in Estonia, he's the closest person, and he is coming butt naked outside, and you see him, and without batting an eye, he mentions and he says, "It's our culture." Yeah, so it took me a while to get used to this, to seeing naked people crammed together in a closed space, which is so weird when you think about it, right? Because Estonians really value their personal space, right? But a sauna is like a complete opposite of that. You strip yourself naked and then you get crammed into a hot space, which is like, I think a sauna is like a completely opposite thing from Estonia. It's hot, you get crammed inside, and instead of wearing all these layers of clothes, you're butt naked. Now I know why they invented the sauna. All right, cultural shock number 3, and that was the European party culture. Now I have seen this happening in many other cities in Europe as well, so I'm not sure if I should call it like the Estonian party culture, but I mean, this is how it works. So you gather everybody up and you go out at like 9 or 10 in the evening, right at the time when it's time for normal people to go to bed on a Friday Eve. So you go out and you go to a bar and then you start drinking, getting pitch drunk, hammered, and then you go to another bar and then you go to another bar, and around like 1 a.m. or like 2 a.m., that's when you're ready to socialize. So you go to a club, and that's where basically you socialize, you dance when you are out of your mind, pretty much. And then you just do it till like 4 or 5 a.m. And then when you can't do anything more, then you're just back home. I mean, this was pretty mind-blowing to me, because on a usual weekday, like all the people I know, Estonians, they are very punctual. They go out to bed at like regular time. They wake up in the morning at the regular time. But then on the weekends, something different happens. It's like a different spirit gets into the people. I don't know what happens, but it's something clearly very, very different from the usual weekday Estonians or weekday people. So yeah, that was a huge shocker for me. Cultural shock number 4 that I had, and that was the difference between drunk Estonians and sober Estonians. It's so huge, I can't even begin to describe it. It's like they are completely different persons. I remember when I first saw my like drunk friends, like they were like hugging me and telling me how much they love me. It's so weird to see. I mean, if you want to see something really entertaining, then I invite you that you go out to Tallinn Old Town at like 2 or 3 a.m. and then just stand somewhere on any street, and then you will see the kind of spectacles that you will never ever see in the light of day in Estonia at all. Like I saw people yelling "I love you" across the street, and then women walking and then yelling to strangers. Like yeah, just try it sometime and then you will see what I mean. That said, I mean, there is a huge difference between normal Estonians and then drunk Estonians. It's like they are completely different people, and that sort of boggles my mind, like which one is the real one. Like I often joke with my Estonian friends, is like a drunk Estonian is like a normal person, because then they're like extroverted and happy and you know, like doing things which are normal, like hugging people. Cultural shock number 5, and this has to do everything with the food. Now, I'm not saying Estonian food is bad or anything, because I have said that a lot, many times, but the cultural idea of food that I find here, like the normal everyday food, not when you go to a restaurant, is food is basically for sustenance. It's not really for pleasure. You eat food because your body needs it, and you don't eat food because you like the taste or you want to enjoy it, or it's a form of entertainment for you, which is really polar opposite from where I come from. Because for us in Pakistan and India and the South Asian culture, food is entertainment. When we think of going out means we are going to eat something. There is no point of going out if you're full. That doesn't happen. Like at all. We don't know what to do if we are full. Our entertainment starts and ends with food, no matter what it is, whether it is weddings or birthdays or going out or anything. Food is entertainment. Food is not just sustenance. Food is not just for living. But in Estonia, it's completely opposite. Like it's completely about just letting your body live. That's what I have seen. So people would just eat boiled potatoes or rice or nothing really tasteful, which is, yeah, it took me a very long time to get used to it. But on the other hand, the way we think of food as a form of entertainment, that role is taken up by alcohol. Like alcohol is to Western people as food is to Eastern people. Now this is a huge generalization, but it sort of works like that, that's what I have seen. But anyway, moving on. Cultural shock number 6. It's never cold. Like there are very few times in Estonia when your Estonian friends would actually say that it's cold. Even if a foreigner, is like dressed in like 7 layers with like wrapped your head with like in a hat and a muffler and everything, your Estonian friends would say that it's not cold. Well, yeah, then what is cold? Because there are only a few days in Estonia where any of your Estonian friends would actually say that it's cold, and it normally happens around -20 or -25. Before that, it's not that cold, which is weird, which blows my mind. Because for me, it's cold by default in Estonia, except when it's a little warm. That's what I think. We have very different standards of cold. It takes some very getting used to. It's not easy. But when it's hot, then I really like it, because my Estonian friends are like getting sweaty and complaining at like 29 and 30, and I am just happily moving across them and then showing them, okay, this is not as hot. Really? This is not hot. Like, you don't know what hot is until it's like 40 degrees. That's when you know what hot is. And they're like suffering and looking at me with like really evil eyes because it's 29 degrees. So that's the time when I got you. All right. So finally, cultural shock number 7. that I had. And that is a real lack of excitement around public personalities or celebrities. Or for example, in here in Estonia, you could find people right on the street, like famous people, famous by every standard of the country. Like you could see actors, you could see models, you could see like elected officials. I once met the current president of Estonia right here on the street. Like he was just walking along with his Secret Service, and then I just went up to him and then I said hello and then I took a picture. I can't find it happening in Pakistan. Like that doesn't really happen at all. And then there was this another time when I was roaming around in Tallinn and I just randomly met this Estonian snowboarding champion from X Games. Like she's one of the youngest gold medal holders from Estonia, Kelly Sildaru. And then yeah, I just got a picture with her. So this is Estonia, and then you would randomly meet very famous people and very important people just right here on the street, and nobody would, bat an eye. It's just so normal, like part of the culture. Yeah, that thing would never really happen back home in Pakistan. So there you have it. These were the 7 huge cultural shocks that I experienced when I first came to Estonia. If you are from any other country, then I would really like you to tell me if there was any cultural shock that you experienced that I didn't mention. Please write them down in the comments below, and I would really, really like to read them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.